Hi, everyone. This is Matt Williams, Kelly O'Keefe, and Rian Chandler-Dovis. We're managing partners of a branding consultancy called Brand Federation. If you're unfamiliar with Brand Federation, we're an organizational branding consultancy, and we work with clients, both for-profit and nonprofit, all over the world to help them understand how to better define their brand in a way that adds energy to their relationships with their employees, their customers, and their prospects. What we found in the last 5 years of doing this work, we've been fortunate enough to work with lots of association brands all over the world. And as we've done that work, we found some strategic patterns that we think can really benefit every association, no matter what kind of industry you might represent.
In the sector of trade organizations, large organizations that represent trade groups, represent whole industries in many cases, and are assembled by members who pay to participate and share connections and commonality. We have worked with, over our years, a lot of these organizations like American Institute of Architects, National Association of Broadcasters, SIOR, APPA, BSA, and so many more. At the core of what they offer, they have to provide value to existing members so that they boost retention, and to prospective members so they boost acquisition. And if you can do a good job of acquiring new members, retaining those members for longer, the third thing you need to do is boost engagement. In other words, the degree to which these members are actually active, that they're benefiting from your services, that they're promoting you as an ambassador, etc. Now, all of that is possible, but first we need to understand some of the things in our changing world that are undermining the ability to retain and interest members. And so Rian is going to talk about some of the symptoms we found that are common in associations that need to dial it up a little bit.
So as Kelly mentioned, this broad variety of associations and membership organizations that we have worked with really give us the ability to have those bird's eye insights across what we're seeing, the needs we're seeing, the challenges we're seeing our clients face. And the first one Kelly really alluded to very clearly is just that need to affirm value. The need to affirm value is really coming out of this time where building connection has been really central to the growth of the association world over time. And people are building connections through new means. Geography no longer holds the importance it once did in how we build connections, how we build business, how we grow our business. And the cost of business is ever increasing. So if you pile on those really high level cultural trends, you kind of come up with this need that associations over and over again have to affirm their value in the marketplace. And they need to affirm their value to capture point number 2 here in a world with rapidly shifting demographics. So we see people, especially the next generation of business leaders, and they're coming with different sets of values, with different backgrounds. They look different, they engage differently, and these associations need to find relevance with these new populations that are seeing the world through a different lens. Which leads to observation number 3. These organizations really need to refresh what have become oftentimes aging brands. Many associations have been around for decades. There's a strong sense of legacy, but as they enter into the marketplace today, they can't feel like your father or grandfather or grandmother's brand. They need to have relevance with these new audiences, and so they need to refresh these brands for the modern day. That may be a matter of visual identity, like you need a logo that can appear in a digital setting. But it may be much more than that, about the conviction, the reason they exist in the world, and how they articulate that. Next, many of these associations are holding seemingly conflicting agendas within the same set of objectives. So they need to refresh, as we've talked about, include new audiences. We're seeing a lot of consolidation in the marketplace and the need for these associations to broaden their membership base or narrow it, but redefine it. And yet they have to be able to hold on to and invigorate current members, make sure that they don't feel lost, those people that have been their bread and butter, and that sense of legacy that's the reason they've been successful in the first place, as they move to refresh that brand. So how do you hold on to that legacy of the past and renew it and refresh it for relevance in the future? And then last, they really need that simple, clear messaging. We have a matter of seconds to appeal to our audiences in the world today. Our attention spans are low. We're getting hit with tons of messages every day. There needs to be simple and clear brand communications. They need to affirm our value. They need to inspire current and legacy members. And those simple and clear communications can only come from really redefining and clarifying who these organizations are.
All those strategic observations that Ryan just talked about come down to one thing, and it's a challenge that we find association brand leaders faced with no matter what industry your association represents. And that's, how do you provide the most value to your membership, and how do you use that value to attract new members? So based on that observation, we have created a tool that we've used with multiple engagements across multiple associations, and it's called the value gap analysis. What the value gap analysis tool does is create a quantitative measurement that shows a couple of things. Number one, it shows where you're providing the most value to your members. Number two, it shows where your prospective members want you to provide value. And number three, and this is where it becomes really powerful, it shows the gap between the value you're providing and the value your members and your prospective members want you to provide. We assess that value based on 5 variables that we've found over the years of working with associations that are relevant across every association, no matter what industry you're involved in. Now, we can adapt some of those variables talking to you about your particular issue, but those 5 variables are areas that every association has to focus on to provide value. Once you understand those gaps, the power of the tool is that it focuses your time and your resources on those areas that are your greatest strengths, and those areas that are your greatest weaknesses where you have to shore up. So if this is interesting to you, and if it feels like it's resonating with a challenge that you're facing as an association brand leader, give us a call, shoot us an email. We would love to have a conversation with you to talk you through how value gap analysis might be able to help you identify those strategic opportunities. And we really look forward to talking to you. Thanks.